Okay, well, let's just touch on the Pakistan one for a second. It's very short, but I just wanted to bring it up because I just wanted the people to kind of be aware of the fact that, or like the Women's March in Pakistan is
Oh, yeah.
happening very soon. So it's going to be on the 8th of March. And obviously, in the build up to that, we're already seeing backlash from the Muslim clerics. And I just want to put this out there because this is just women in a country asking for their fundamental basic human rights, like, bodily autonomy, the right to not be treated as a slave wife, like, or a domestic, like a house servant as a wife. These are like, this is how primitive Pakistani society is, where you actually have to like start from, we are equal, like I'm just not born and bred to cook and clean for you guys, and I'm equal to my brother as a sister, and as a daughter I have the right to make my own choices. So the fact that this is happening soon, and I'm going to be doing a stream in Urdu with Sultan Salatin on it, in more detail, like properly from a woman's perspective and kind of covering it in more depth. But just, I mean, as expected, every single year without fail, let me just get it, the Muslim clergy is already setting the scene, Haris, how they do. So this is what they're saying this year, and there's no surprises, but just to kind of get us in the mood for it. TLP, so in Pakistan TLP opposes the Aurat March, says it's against Islamic norms. And again, this is just a snapshot of like the kind of placards they're holding up. We are companions, not competitors. Yeah.
And the Western audience who don't remember TLP, this is the founder, the guy who said, let's nuke France for making cartoons. This guy, he died last year, or the year before. No, last year he died, or the year before? Yeah, last year.
And his son is now in charge, right? Is it his son?
Yeah, his son is in charge. Just recently got out of prison after Pakistan said that, okay, sorry, we can't do anything. We're a sorry state. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so Pakistan's opposition party, Tehreek-e-Labbaik, TLP, has voiced its opposition to the Aurat March women's rights movement in Pakistan, saying it was against the norms of the society as well as Islam. This comes at a time when other parties there's a bunch of other parties, PTI and...
But this is the big one, Jamiat-e-Ulama-e-Islam Fazlur Rahman group. That's the biggest
so let's
Islamic political party in Pakistan. But by biggest, I mean they only get about 2 or 3% of the votes.
Okay, so they're currently at loggerheads with the ruling party at the moment, Imran Khan's party, PTI. And they've all come together to oppose the Aurat March. So this is what women are fighting against at the moment. Like literally at the minute, you're standing there as a woman against all. You have no political home, and nobody is willing to stand for these basic rights that you're asking for. So the TLP leader Mohammed Yaqub Saifi on Saturday said the participants of the Aurat March chanted unethical slogans. He further opposed the holding of the march on the occasion of the International Women's Day March on March 8th, reported Dawn. Earlier, ahead of the Aurat March that coincides with International Women's Day, the Federal Religious Affairs Minister and a leading light of the JUIF have both termed it un-Islamic. If any attempts are made for obscenity on March 8th in Islamabad, we will condemn it. And trust me, they will. Like, I have a feeling it's going to kick off because...
Last time they pelted stones last time the burqa-clad women turned up and they pelted stones at these brave women.
Yeah. So there we go. Is that mimicking like the Hajj thing to throw stones at devils?
Well, probably. Well, they just want to hurt them.
Yeah. Well, they definitely do anyway. But their argument would have weight if... This is what they say. Their argument would have weight if backed by logic, knowledge, or even plain common sense. But their driver appears to be, and this is so true, this is the only thing driving the entire Pakistani mindset, preconceived archaic notions about a woman's place in society and outright misogyny. That's what we're dealing with in Pakistan. But these guys say any questioning the legitimacy of the women's right... Sorry, no, this is Dawn again, backing it. Anyone questioning the legitimacy of the women's rights movement need not embark on a deep study of history or sociology, but merely look at a few recent incidents to understand why the status quo is unacceptable, as it is patently unjust. And Haris, you've definitely covered a lot of the things that have happened in Pakistan since then as well. Nur Muqaddam's killer was recently, he was actually given the death penalty, right? So
U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
It was announced, but obviously
it was announced. Yeah, exactly. So that was like a minor triumph in that country, considering the situation. But on the back of that that TikToker that went to that famous landmark, Minar, Pakistan, which is a huge landmark, and she was literally assaulted by 400 men at one point at the
Oh
same
no,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, so those are the kind of incidents that this article is referring to, just in our recent history of what we've seen this year
Just a
unfold.
little,
Yeah.
just a little bit of a backdrop on people who don't understand. So the common narrative from the traditionalist is that we are all for human right or women's rights. We are all for them, but obviously their definition of women's rights is very different. Islamists have a different definition, and some people from Imran Khan's party, they're a little bit more modern, but they have a different. What they're all united under this narrative is this one, that these are the slogans that pisses them off for some reason. So basically, look at the girl who's a hijabi. She's making a point. She's saying, look, so what if I've sat like this? So because these are just basic cultural norms that women should behave in a certain manner, they need to cross their legs. They cannot sit with open legs. Not that, again, whatever your opinion might be. But the point here she's making that my honor is not between my legs. This is a hijabi girl. So this kind of slogan pisses them off. This one, if you like a hijab so much, then put it on your eyes. This is a modern girl saying that. The other slogan says that a woman is not a baby making machine. This one, my uterus, my choice. The other one is saying period tax. Namazu. I don't know what that means. Period tax. So is there a tax for? Oh yes. So I think she's basically saying just because we have period,
we have to
doesn't mean that we become your slave. We have to buy into it. So I mean, you have to decide when I'm going to have babies, etc. This one, consent ki tasbih razana pade. Oh, meaning yeah, you should if you want to keep repeating something, because Muslims repeat their beats, say Muhammad, Muhammad, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So say if you want to do something, if you're going to keep repeating something, then repeat the concept of consent.
I love this. This is actually my favorite one so far. Actually, I want to write this one down. That's really good. Really, really good.
So this woman is saying, when would the vaccine of patriarchy arrive in Pakistan? So these are the slogans that has pissed them off. I think they're very clever. They're very smart. Shadi ke alawa aur bahut kaam hai. Well, we've got many other things to do other than just getting married.
Yeah. So again, this is so basic. Like in the West, I mean, if you're coming from a Western perspective, a lot of
this is another one.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing, and this is what I need to tell Western.
Like, warm your own food up. That slogan says literally, warm your own food up. Like this is so basic, but it's so necessary.
This Nuria, this particular one, and then another one. Find your other sock yourself.
Yeah.
So these are look at the title: a case for slanderous, scandalous slogans.
Yeah. Know where the cutlery drawer is in the kitchen. God's sake.
Yeah. so it has pissed them off so much. Again, this it's not pro smoking or whatever, but it basically emphasizing on a different point. Yes, one negative thing that came out of feminism was we can smoke too. But anyway, so that's what they say.
It's more to do with the taboo, because I mean, it's more to do with the taboo, the fact that only men should be seen to be holding a cigarette. If a woman does it, you're like categorized as so bad and ratchet, But a man smoking and a woman smoking is the same thing.
But equally bad.
Exactly.
We're equal. Yeah, we're equal. So it's just we're equally bad. So,
but I literally know people. Sorry, I know people who have said, I want to separate or divorce from my wife because she goes out for shisha with her friends, and the mother-in-laws say she's completely like out of control because she does something like that. So something as tiny as smoking, actually, there is a lot behind it. There is.
Well, yeah, but shisha's classy though, as I said. It smells better.
Not to those mother-in-laws, it doesn't.
Yeah. And so that's the slogan that they normally give. But at the very same time, whenever domestic bill is attempted to be passed, they come out. Aurat March women's march people, they come out in defense of it, while the clerics and the burqa-clad women come against it. They say, no, as we covered the last week's news story. A Malaysian minister for women said that it's okay to beat your wives.
Yeah, but then
of all the people, Minister for Women's Rights said it's okay. It's okay.
her
You
and the
can beat your
Taliban's education minister should really get together.
Oh,
They
yeah.
would they
They
would
should.
really get
Taliban
along.
education. All right.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
forgot.
I think the march is going to take place in 10 days' time, 8th of March.
Yes.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone!